Alamosaurus. Alamosaurus was a huge, long-necked dinosaur. It was one of the last sauropods that lived in the Mesozoic era. This animal was about 7 kids tall. Alamosaurus was a plant-eating sauropod dinosaur that lived in North America during the Cretaceous time period. Allosaurus. Allosaurus had a small horn over each eye. The horns may have helped Allosaurus to recognize others of its kind. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Allosaurus was one of the dominant carnivores in North America that lived in the Jurassic, many millions of years before Tyrannosaurus rex. Amargasaurus. Amargasaurus was a giant sauropod with 2 rows of spines down its back. The spines may have been attached to one another by skin, creating the appearance of a huge sail on its back. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Amargasaurus was a sauropod. Sauropods were 4-legged herbivores known for their small heads, big long bodies, and large appetites. Ankylosaurus. Ankylosaurus was covered from head to toe with bony armor. The bony club at the end of its tail was used in defending against predators. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Ankylosaurus was a large and heavy quadruped, which means it walked on 4 legs. It was also a herbivore, which means it only ate the green stuff, plants. Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus was a giant dinosaur that had to eat huge amounts of food every day to support its size. This animal was about 7 kids tall. Apatosaurus had chisel-like teeth located in the front of its jaws, which it used to grab plant food. A lot of plant food. Archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx, sometimes called first bird, was a small meat-eating dinosaur that lived in the late Jurassic time period. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Archaeopteryx was about the size of a modern-day crow and likely fed on a diet of small animals, including fish and insects. Archelon. Like other sea turtles, Archelon had to come out of the water to make a nest on the beach and lay its eggs. It would then return to the ocean, leaving the young turtles to fend for themselves. This animal was about 2 kids tall. Like giant sea turtles today, Archelon may have fed on jellyfish. Argentinosaurus. Argentinosaurus was bigger than 10 Tyrannosaurs put together. This animal was about 9 kids tall. Argentinosaurus is the largest plant-eating dinosaur ever discovered from the late Cretaceous time period. It was found in Argentina, South America. Avisaurus. Avisaurus are known to be from the Rocky Mountains and the humid low-lying swamps, lakes, and river basins of the western interior seaway. This animal was about 1 kid tall. This flying dinosaur was probably a carnivore, eating small animals like lizards and mammals. Beelzebufo. Beelzebufo was a particularly large species of prehistoric frog from the late Cretaceous period, found in what is now Madagascar. Perhaps the largest frog to ever exist, it may have grown to over 16 inches and almost 10 pounds in size. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Beelzebufo was a carnivore that ate relatively large prey, such as lizards, mammals, and perhaps even small dinosaurs. Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus is a plant-eating dinosaur from the late Jurassic time period that possibly lived through the early Cretaceous time period too. Brachiosaurus fossils were found in both North America and Africa. This enormous sauropod was very slow-moving, slower than any herbivore of its time.
This animal was about 13 kids tall. Brachiosaurus, like other plant-eating animals, had broad teeth that would have been great for stripping vegetation off trees. Carcharodontosaurus. Carcharodontosaurus was a carnivore and probably fed on both small and large dinosaurs. This animal was about 4 kids tall. Carcharodontosaurus was a carnivore and probably fed on both small and large dinosaurs. Castrocauda. The name Castrocauda means beaver tail because it had a flattened tail like a beaver and likely used it for swimming, much as modern-day beavers do. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Castrocauda was an omnivore. It mostly ate meat, but likely ate plants as well. Changyuraptor. Like other microraptors, Changyuraptor had feathers on its hind legs, making it look like it had 2 sets of wings. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Changyuraptor was a predatory dinosaur and probably ate small prey like lizards, birds, fish, and other small creatures. Chirostenotes. Chirostenotes means narrow hand because it had 3 long clawed fingers on each hand. This animal was about 1 kid tall. Chirostenotes was an omnivore, which means they ate both meat and plants, just like many humans. They ate plants, eggs, small animals, and insects. Cimolestes. Cimolestes was an early mammal that lived in the woodlands of North America and Africa during the Cretaceous time period. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. The name Cimolestes means bug thief, as they likely fed on bugs and insects. Confuciusornis. Confuciusornis was a crow-sized bird with a toothless beak and a very long tail of feathers. Let's compare it to something we know the size of, a kid like you. Confuciusornis were herbivores, surviving on plants, nuts, and berries. Scientists believe this based on the fact that Confuciusornis did not have teeth in their beaks. Corythosaurus. Corythosaurus had a crest on its head that may have been used to communicate with other Corythosaurus. This animal was about 7 kids tall. Corythosaurus was a herbivore, and like other hadrosaurs or duck-billed dinosaurs, it had a beak with hundreds of small, flat teeth in the back, perfect for grinding up plants. Cretoxyrhina. Cretoxyrhina, also known as Ginzu shark, was a shark that lived in the western interior sea during the late Cretaceous time period. Its teeth grew up to 2 inches long. This animal was about 3 kids tall. Cretoxyrhina ate large bony fish and occasionally fed on giant reptiles like mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. Its teeth have been found embedded in the bones of other animals.